Well, welcome to Noblesville Coaches Show. I'm Perry Williams. Coach Mack, you got a 3-game winning streak going on right now. Had a big weekend last week with beating Southeastern in 2 overtimes, and then beating a very good Guerin Catholic. Let's talk a little bit about those 2 games last week.
Yeah, obviously it's always good to get a conference win. I thought we had our best week of practice, our best 4 days in a row than what we've had maybe all year. But and then I thought the first half of the Southeastern game, just we didn't come out of the gates very well. I'm not sure why that was. I think they did a good job with their zone. We knew that they would play their zone. You can work on it, but throughout the week, but it's a little bit different when it's finally live. And I thought Southeastern did a really nice job of kind of dictating the tempo and getting the pace of the game at their level, and not necessarily at the level that we wanted to play. And then it was kind of back and forth in the second half. We were able to get a lead, but we couldn't keep it. They ended up taking the lead. Went to overtimes, made a nice play, Aaron Fine, to send it in the second overtime, and just fortunate enough to get that win. And then we had a real short time to kind of recover because we played Guerin on Saturday afternoon, and I thought we played extremely well. I think anytime you shoot 63-64% from the field for the game, you got to be encouraged by that. I think final statistics had us 25 of 40, so got multiple contributions. We had 3 in double figures, and I think we had 4 other guys score on top of that. That was 4 or 5. So that was good. I thought they're a good team. I mean, they've got Sorensen, who I think is one of the better players in the county, and we did a really good job. I thought Baron Walker did a really nice job on him. We just were able to get out and kind of get the tempo at the level we wanted. We were able to shoot the ball well and share the ball, and our half-court defense was really good against Guerin, so we've won 3 of the last 4, and got a little momentum going into kind of the last quarter of the season, so to speak, before you get to the tournament.
Yeah, and the one thing about it is, and you made a comment about this early in the season, like the first interview, talking about that depth, and that depth really showed out against Guerin by having to play a double overtime game at Southeastern, and then coming back and playing Guerin in a pretty short window of coming back.
Yeah, I mean, we feel like we've had some great depth all year. I mean, we were able to, I think, I feel like we definitely played 8 or 9 guys consistent minutes, but quite frankly, I mean, we probably could get away in spot minutes of playing 10, 11, 12 guys.
I believe that.
The one thing that was nice about a little bit of these last couple games was T.J. Davidson, who started the year for us, got hurt a couple days before the Pike game and had missed the last 6 games, and we got him back. So again, that just helps kind of add to our depth, and obviously, Aaron and Hunter draw a lot of attention, but we've got kind of 4 or 5 different guards that we can, and we got some Ryan Veters playing really well. Luke Etchison's giving us some minutes at the wing spots, and we got a little depth at kind of our 5 spots. So, it's been a nice luxury to have. I think the guys have done a really good job of handling it. As a coach, sometimes it makes it a little bit challenging because you've got guys that deserve to play and all want to play, but you can only play 5 at a time. But really been really happy with the maturity that our guys have shown through all this, and it not only has it helped us in our games, but our practices have just been so much more efficient and better and competitive, and So it's been a nice luxury to have, and I think we've got some kids that, that are really helping bring along that depth, and kind of just make us a little bit more dangerous as a team.
Absolutely. And the one thing about it is it's great when you were talking about, some of those other players coming off the bench like Will Smith and Veter. Some of the things that they do out there on the floor don't really show up sometimes in statistics. Number one is the 50-50 ball. Both those guys, all the players will go after the ball. But those two, when they come in the game now, they come to play.
Yeah, I feel like Will was another one who started, when the year started, he was starting because AB was injured. And, played very well and gave us great minutes. And then he got sick and kind of moved AB in the starting. But, they're playing about equal minutes. And Will has just really thrived in his role. And, it's stuff that you don't necessarily see. I think his defense has just been really good all year long. He's efficient. And he doesn't turn the ball over, and he doesn't do things that he knows he can't do. I think Ryan has kind of starting to come into his own as well. And Ryan gives us a little versatility because he can handle the ball a little bit, and he can play a little bit of inside and out. And which again, and now getting TJ back, now I feel like we got with Aaron, TJ, Justin, and Barron, 4 guards. And our wings, we've got some depth at wings, and we got a couple guys that we can move around in the 5 spots. So, yeah, but it's been really nice just see. I think all the guys kind of buy into their role, and they've done a really good job of being professional and handling, whatever minutes have been thrown to them. And that all the kids all want to play, and if they didn't, you wouldn't want them there anyway. But as a coach, sometimes, like I said, it is a little bit of a challenge. I really kind of tried to follow, keep an eye on Purdue, because I kind of feel like they have a little bit of the same. Obviously, we don't have a Zach Edey, but they've got 9, 10, 11 guys that can all play and contribute. So I've really kind of tried to watch a little bit how Coach Painter and the Purdue staff has balanced that. And, again, it's not all the same, but it's all relative to a degree. And so I'm just real happy with our kids and the way that they have bought into, whether it's 2 minutes or whether it's 31 and a half minutes or 32 minutes, just playing to the maximum of their ability and getting the most out of it to help our team.
Yeah, because, really looking at these stats, and thinking with Luke Etchison and Will Smith and Veter coming off that bench, of course, Smith and Veter gets a few more minutes, but they've got over 90 rebounds this season. Those are important things. And the great thing of looking at these stats too is our shooting. From 2-point we're 55%, and we're right at 39%, 40% at 3. So
well, and I think the thing is with that, you try to take good shots. I think we're too. There's no reason for us to have to take difficult shots. And we talk all the time about passing up a good shot to get a great shot. And then, I did think we went through a little bit of a lull where we missed some shots in the paint. And I could tell there were some disappointment, some discouragement maybe, but I think the big thing there is you just keep practicing and practicing it, and not getting your dauber down, so to speak. But I thought we missed some shots, the last few weeks inside the paint, and you just, there's no reason, no need for us to be taking difficult or forced or rushed shots. I just somebody else is open if that's the case.
Well, let's talk a little bit about those 2 sophomores, because Curry and Baron Walker stepping in for TJ Davidson. I don't know whether a lot of people realize till TJ got injured, I mean, he handled the toughest offensive player on the other team.
Yeah,
most of the season.
you know,
so that was a big loss.
It was, and because TJ had played really well. I mean, he was getting us anywhere from 6 to 8 points, not really turning it over. Was playing great defense, and when he got hurt, you know, it did impact us a little bit. And I mean, and you know, Barron stepped into the starting lineup and has really played well. And you talk about Justin and Barron. I think the thing that for me that's probably stood out the most is Barron's defense and Justin's rebounding.
Yes.
And you know, I know it's easy to maybe sometimes get caught up because they both can score and hit threes and things like that. But for me, you know, I thought Barron did a terrific job on Sorensen.
Yes.
And I thought he really did a great job. You know, and then Justin, you know, Justin hasn't shot the ball here these last few games maybe as well as what we'd all like, but the one thing that he is still continuing to do, he's making an effort to guard, but the thing that's probably, you know, he's been getting anywhere from 6 to 8 rebounds for us, you know, these last few games. So, you know, I think those are probably the two things that stand out to me about each one of those kids individually. Just, you know, so we're going to need that, you know, in these last 5 games, and certainly, you know, once the tournament rolls around.
Absolutely. Well, you know, we've talked about the team and about, you know, this past weekend, but you've got a pretty good Mount Vernon team. They're over 500 or 11-7 right now. And you always travel to you're traveling to Mount Vernon. And I've been around Noblesville long enough to know that it's always tough to go to Mount Vernon.
Yeah.
A little bit easier now that they have a newer gym, but the old gym at Mount Vernon was tough to play.
Yes, I had the fortunes of playing in that as a kid.
Yeah.
You know, Mount Vernon's, here's the thing with Mount Vernon. They've been hit by the injury bug. They're, you know, arguably their best player, one of their 2 best players, been out since football, so that's impacted them. But you know, they've had a change in a coach. You know, Joe Bradburn, who's been a longtime coach, had a ton of success. Very good coach. You know, I think they're still kind of trying to feel out all that stuff and transition to Joe and the way he wants to play. But they're in every game. You know, and you know just this with Joe's teams, they're going to guard you to death. Probably want to keep the pace a little bit slower. You know, I don't know what's going to happen. I know Erdel's getting close to getting back. You know, I've kind of heard that this could be his last game to miss, could be his first game back. Obviously, I mean, if he comes back, that's just going to make them dangerous. You know, they've got a lot of young kids. You know, the Smith kid is very good. 22, his name escapes me right now. Played very well against Delta Saturday night. And, you know, the Wells kid who hurt us last year some on the boards and got some points. So, you know, it'll be a tough game no matter what. You know, we're looking forward to it. I'm curious to see how we respond. Thursday night game, you know, but everybody's kind of in that boat this, you know, with the girls sectional this week. And you know, so it you know, it should be an interesting, good game. You know, that we've had good games with them. You know, so I think if they can get Erdel back and keep everybody healthy and use these last 5 to 6 games for them, with him back, they're a potential sectional champion winner in that sectional. I know that sectional's tough too, with Pendleton, New Pal, Greenfield, and Greenfield's undefeated and got a kid that just had 51 points. But I think if, you know, Mount Vernon can get everybody healthy and use these next 5 or 6 games to get some momentum, I mean, they're certainly a sectional contender. So we'll have our hands, you know, full and work cut out for us. But you know, curious to see how we go over there and do. And I think, you know, one thing we talked about with Guerin was just toughness. We had to be the tougher team. And I think there's a little bit of the truth of that with Mount Vernon, but I think the other thing with Mount Vernon is it's going to be about pace and tempo. I mean, if we play maybe at their pace and tempo, and Southeastern did a good job of that in certainly the first half, Friday night, you know, we'll be in for a tough game. So I think we've got to get the tempo and the pace of that game up here Thursday night.
All right, Coach. You know, it's hard to believe you got 2 conference games left, but you only got 5 games left before sectional time. So it's went pretty quick.
It's flown by, you know. I mean, I think, you know, as I get older, it's the days are long, but the years are short.
Yeah.
You know, and time is a thief, and you know, it's hard to believe. I mean, it just seemed like a blink of an eye. We were in here just doing preseason workouts,
Right.
and here we are in the first week of February, and 5 games left, and you know, you just want to use these 5 games to keep improving. You know, I know that's coach speak, and everybody's saying that, but that is reality. You know, now's the time of year where you really want to stay healthy. You want to keep improving, sharpening up what you've done well, fixing what you haven't, adding what maybe you need to get ready for March, and you know, and so just hopefully have some momentum going into the first week of March.
Yeah, because you know, it's always this way. But man, it just seems like every year we say, you know, sectional 8's the toughest sectional, and that never changes. And you know, you're sitting here right now with Fishers at 17-1, Westfield at 13-1. We're 15-2, and then this past weekend, Carmel, which is not actually playing at normal Carmel standards, beats Fishers this past weekend. So anything can happen in the second.
No question. I mean, Fishers, you know, had a great year. Westfield's, you know, obviously very, very good. You know, I think Southeastern has shown where they got 12 wins. I mean, that they're capable of beating any
Absolutely.
team. You know, Carmel, you know, I said this a couple weeks ago when we were playing Franklin Central, you know, and they were coming off the Marion County tournament. I thought that they were maybe the hottest team in the state. Well, Carmel's the hottest team now.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think the big thing with, you know, when you look at Carmel, they had some younger kids, had some guys that had to change their roles and play in little different positions, and they've just gotten better and better, and that's a real credit to their kids and their staff. And, you know, Zionsville, I mean, I said that they got 2 guys that I think are capable of going and getting 25. So, I mean, you know, it'll be a dogfight regardless. I mean, however the draws go and, you know, that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, the one thing is there's nobody that, and I really believe this. You say, gosh, I hope I draw them.
I was thinking about that today, and I'm not sure who.
I think if you ask the other coaches in Sectional 8, there's nobody that's going to say, hey, gosh, I hope I get them. And you know, I mean, it'll be curious to see how this next month goes for all the teams. And you know, but that's why, you know, why February is still important. You know, but you know, it is. And you and I've talked about this before. I mean, winning a sectional, regardless of class, regardless of geographics, I mean, it's really almost impossible. It really is. It's not impossible, but it's almost, I mean, because everything just has to fall into line. And I think that's true of 1A to 4A and you know, northern Indiana, southern Indiana, central Indiana. It's just, it does. It all has to fall in the line. I mean, obviously you do some things, you know, as you're with your team and your coaching staff that hopefully put you in a position. But, you know, it is. And Coach Katie used to always talk about you got to have a little luck during the tournament.
Absolutely.
And, you know, so, you know, yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be an exciting time. But, you know, my mind's not there yet. You know, my mind right now is on this last month. I still think this group can get better. And I think this group still, we played really well Saturday, really well. Shot the ball well, shared the ball well, guarded really well. I still think this group's got a little bit more left in them. So hopefully we can use February to get ready for March.
Well, thanks a lot, Coach. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule, because I know it's difficult to break away because you're also a teacher too. I mean, that pays the bills.
That's right. That's right.
So I appreciate you taking time out.
Well, thanks for having me.
All right.
Thanks, Bert.